Welcome back. I am Shaun Tucker here with an awesome guest today, which I will reveal in just a sec. We are here in the Living Lab documenting the science, the struggle, and the shift for every high-performance dad and founder who's ready to bridge the gap between their ambition and their presence. Today, like I said, I'm in the Living Lab with the living legend known as Tim Beanland. He is a close friend of mine, and I'm really excited to get into today's chat. So let's just get straight into it, shall we? Tim, welcome to the show.
Shaun, it's good to be here. Thank you.
Mate, you are dynamite, I swear to God. And I love it. I love your energy. I'm so grateful to have you as a friend and be able to call you on my speed dial. I'd love to know, just so the audience and the viewers can understand, how did we actually meet? What was that process for you?
Yeah, well, we met at a networking event. And at networking events, you speak to a lot of people, and there's a lot of people in the room, and everyone tries to sell everything, and everyone pitches at each other. And we had the opportunity to go around and deliver our 30-second introductions. And so I get up and I say, I work with my clients to produce 3 months of video content in just 45 minutes of your time. We do that by structuring a conversation to put you up on a platform, talking the best about your business, so we can create videos that people look at them and go, I need to work with that person. All right, so that's what I delivered as my 30 seconds. And you heard that and went, fuck, got to speak to that guy. But
I did.
I'm a big
100%.
hyperbolic marketer with a sales background, and I got busy, right? I got busy talking to people, this, that, and, I don't know if it was your first event or not. And we didn't cross paths at the thing. And what happened then is I was buzzing off the energy of the room, and we got a couple good conversations going that led to business that day. And I parked at the Crown, which I normally actually wouldn't do. Parked at the Crown and was walking back, and who do I bump into? Mr. Shaun Tucker. We got chatting.
I remember the moment so vividly.
Yeah.
I was walking with a friend. I'm like, there's one guy that I wanted to talk to. The whole networking event, I was like, there's one guy in my head. I'm like, I need to speak to that guy because I'm spending hours upon hours editing my footage. It's just not working for me. Right?
You and every other entrepreneur still in 2026 is spending way too much time and effort being video editors when they need to be video producers at the very least, or just business owners. The amount of business owners that are wasting time, that are dancing around on TikTok, right? When they shouldn't be dancing around on TikTok because they want views. They want that, but the process takes too long. So they're dancing around on TikTok to nobody, and nobody cares. Right? And I think if business owners realize that the time that they spend creating content could be spent in areas that would facilitate business, which content can do if done properly, right? And you fit into that category of someone going, I'm spending hours on hours and hours and hours. And I said, well, just have one conversation with me. One simple conversation that lasts for 45 minutes, and we'll get 3 months of high converting video assets that people actually want to listen to. And you no longer have to dance around on TikTok if that's not your thing. If it is your thing, dance around.
Fortunately, I wasn't in that party.
Yeah.
But I was, to paint the picture for the audience, right? I was hand writing, like I was hand typing the captions. This is in 2022, right? The technology was evolved enough, but I was in a video editing software, hand typing every caption that I uttered. It was taking me a very long time. Thankfully, technology's helped a lot. But Tim, it's funny.
What's worse is I've now realized you're quite a techie dude, right? So you're a techie dude who was spending 4 hours on video editing. I can't even imagine the person that's not a techie dude or a techie gal trying to edit this stuff. right?
Yeah.
So then how long are these business owners spending on video content? So they film it, that takes them 2 hours. They edit it, that takes them anywhere from half a day to 2 days. And then they put it out and it flops. They get 100
Yeah.
views, 200 views. And they
The thing
spent
that drives
all
me
this
crazy.
time doing something for 200 views. There just
Yeah.
has to be a better way. And that's the
Well, there
process
is.
system.
There is. Because the thing I really dislike, and I spot it instantly, and people don't spot it, but they feel it. And that is when you're reading from a script. When you're reading from a script, you can straight away feel that someone's not being themselves.
So
I can
I
spot it.
hate
You can spot it.
I hate teleprompters, and I own teleprompters, but I hate teleprompters. The reason I hate teleprompters is as soon as you start sounding scripted in your video, you are no longer a human. You're no longer a human. You turn into a
Can't
robotic
connect to your
version
audience.
of you. And guess what that does to the customer looking, especially in 2026? If you sound robotic, if you sound scripted, you are now AI, right? If you are AI in video content, I don't know if you've seen this, but Zero and Ladbrokes have been running
Mm.
AI content as ads, right?
Yeah.
You look at those ads and you look at the comments and people are pissed off. Like, why would you hire actors? Using AI, cheaping out on AI, right? And it just blows my mind that they're putting ad spend behind that. Now, I don't know if it's working because I've been seeing them for 2 months. So either it's working and I can't be negative about it, and bravo, they've saved the costs, or an agency's locked them into the contract, so they have to run the ads anyway, right?
Yeah.
Or they're just testing it, but they're pissing off market share by AI. And you know what it is? It's not the use of AI that people are annoyed at. It's the cutting of the corners. It's
Yeah.
you did not put effort into this. This is an AI generated video. You did not put effort into this, so I am not going to listen to it. Right? And what have I done today? Now, the image that you're looking at is off my laptop, but we've got a actual camera set up. I've got a proper microphone here, and I've got backup audio. I've paid $300 to book this boardroom out. Right? Effort.
Yeah.
Say you had, this is a Rory Sutherland thing. Say you had 2 weddings that you were invited to on the same day. One wedding sends you an email to the invite, email, digital one. The other wedding sends you a physical letter with embroidery on it and a stamp and a really nice letter. And you find out that's on the same day. Which wedding are you going to? You're going to the one that's put in the effort. And I think in 2026, people have a massive opportunity on their hands with AI content, with physical content, with merging the two.
Yeah.
But if you don't put effort into it, people don't pay attention. They comment for the wrong reasons. They don't do business with you, which is the point of doing video, right?
The attention is in the details, effectively, isn't
It
it?
is. Marketing, video, marketing's job is to make a salesperson's role easier. I'll say that again. Marketing's role is to make a salesperson's job a heck of a lot easier. And if the salesperson is a landing page or an e-commerce thing or an actual physical dude that's shaking hands, if you're doing your marketing correctly, your sales calls should be effortless. And too many people get the wrong idea on marketing and sales. Oh, it's for brand, it's for awareness, it's for engagement, it's for this, it's that. Yes, those are true things. But why would you do advertising for awareness? Oh, so people know about me. Okay. Why would you want people to know about you? Right? You got a family. Why do you want them to know about you? You probably would invite strangers into your house. Right? So why do you want them to know about you? Oh, well, they might reach out to me and do business. Okay, cool. So if we're in awareness, are we in the PR game or are we in the sales department? a mentor of mine, Bruce, we get on sales calls. Your job is to get commitment. There's no yes or no that doesn't exist in the realm of commitment. If your content is done properly, you should get attention. If you get that attention, you should get leads. If you get those leads, you should be selling to those leads. And too many people, you included, Shaun, too many people, you included, have really nice conversations with people.
Of
So
course.
they get the lead, they get the attention, you've been putting videos out all the time, and then they get to the sales call and they go, all right, that was a really good chat. Yeah, I'll let you think about it. No. Why don't you fuck off? In sales, there's yes or there's no. Anything in between that, I need to think about it. I need to talk to the wife. I don't know what my budget is. I don't know this. I don't know. No, it's yes or no. And just because it's no today doesn't mean it's no in 2 months, in 3 months, in 6 months. But today, if I've spent time with you and I've discovered what you need and I can genuinely help you, not the other way around. If I find out I can't help you, I will end the call. But if my content, and I'm going to put so much effort and time and money and resources into content that is for commercial purposes, and I am not making a sale on the back end of that content, then what are we doing here? Like, what are you doing?
It's a very good point.
If you're spending money on ads to get leads for them not to close into business, you're not in business. You're not in the marketing department. You're in the PR department. And as a small
I would love
business,
to reframe that to open for business, right? Because the lead doesn't get closed. The lead gets open for business.
no, you're right. Okay. So closed is the term that the popular sales dudes use, right? And I use it because that's the terminology, but you are right. We're not closing a sale. Closing a sale does not exist. We are opening the relationship. The sale does not end until the money is in the bank and the service is delivered. And then you go on to the next thing and the next thing and the next sale, right? How many times has someone bought the small thing off you and then 3 months later they buy the big thing off you? That's because you did a good job in your lead generation. You did a good job in your sales calls and you delivered a product that they went, wow, this is amazing. How can I do more business with you or refer people to you? Because my experience has been exemplary beyond measure. Okay. So once you've got 5 customers in your business, you should never, ever, ever, ever have to make a cold call ever again. Now, if you want to do it as part of your marketing strategy and you're running leads, and there's a guy on TikTok at the moment, his name's Cameron from Indie Creative. He does an amazing job at cold calling. I love this guy, right? And he does that as his tactic and it works for him. But if you're someone who doesn't want to cold call and you've had experience with 5 customers already, you should never make a cold call in your life because you should be getting referrals off these people because you've delivered an exemplary service, you've delivered on it, and then you can go, hey, Paul, do you know any other Pauls like you? Because I'd like more business of people like you.
It's in the ask, isn't it? Really,
it's frustratingly simple, Shaun.
Yeah,
It's 100%. I look at business owners like you, I look at men like you, and I look at business owners that can achieve things in this world, like yourself, and I just feel like slapping you in the head. Because
man, I feel like this podcast conversation is very directed at me.
You're lucky we're not in person, or else I probably would slap you in the head.
So I want to give
I won't do that.
Context.
I'm just
I appreciate what you've said so far. Something that both antagonizes me and also makes me very jealous is your ability to move very quickly, because you are someone who has suffered from like mental health issues in the past. You do have a mental health disorder, which has really inhibited your ability to create a consistent business over the last number of years that I've known you. This has, in fact, made you a speed machine in building businesses and also destroying businesses, which, like I said, is both makes me very jealous, but also it's really interesting just to see. I think you're such a weapon when it comes to understanding these tools that we all have, right? Being able to market yourself in such a way and also have the ability to sell and generate business for you long term. What I think a lot of business owners struggle with is they have too much time on their hands and they don't know what to do with it. And then it ends up becoming this pile of procrastination, which the more you delay something, effectively, it's just going to keep on pushing it and get heavier and harder to do. And when I have worked with you in the past, when you've actually been my advisor when it's come to marketing and sales, you helped me achieve 6 sales in a week, right? And that was probably one of my biggest weeks I've done in business ever. So there is a method to the madness, but I'd love for you to speak into some of your maybe lesser known struggles that you have when it comes to juggling relationships and business and understanding how it all fits in and where you are right now.
Look, because of my mental illness, there are people out there that will not ever do business with me because of a mental illness. Okay, so that's like saying, I'm not going to do business with you because you've broken your arm. So there's people out there that will probably be watching this that have said some things behind my back that hurt, but pushed me to get back. Right? So in 2016, I was diagnosed with bipolar 2 disorder. Bipolar 1 disorder is the stereotype bipolar. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Very hard to manage. Bipolar 2 is more sustained periods of long depression. So I've just got out of a 13-month depression cycle with an ability to tap into some frequencies of hypomanic capacity. Now, the depression gives me a level of insight, knowledge, learnings, and value into my life that a lot of people can't have access to. There are things that I know about myself and how I run and how I operate and lessons and learnings and failures and falling down and getting back up and falling down and getting back up. The depression cycle sucks. But you know what it does is it builds resilience. I know that when I'm back again, I can build this business as big and fast as I want to. And the people who were with me when I'm down and weren't talking behind my back, I'll bring them with me. The people that were talking behind my back, you just watch. Okay, you just watch. You know who you are. You're watching this right now. I know you are. You just watch. So, there's that. All right? So the people that were with me, I appreciate them so much more. I now have a quality friendship base of people who I know are my friends, who I know I can do battle with and they can do battle with me because we've been in the trenches before. We've got the scars. And I've got some amazing Paul Dubois, Johan Nagura, Shaun Tucker, Bruce Manson, Lisa Beanland, my wife. Right? I've got some amazing people. People underappreciate who's in my network. All right. We are all growing together because we've been in the trenches together. Right. You've seen me at my best. You've seen me at my worst. You've seen me climb mountains. You've seen me get smashed in the face and get back up again.
I haven't seen that last one, but you've seen that happen to me.
Yeah. So that's the depression. The hypomania and the mania, oh boy. Energy, drive, motivation, influence, passion, hustle, drive. I said drive twice. Influence, motivation, feeling on top of the world, getting out and getting things done. If I've got to make 5 sales calls to make money, I'll do it. If I've got to bash down the door, I'll do it. But if I've also got a system that can get people that I can talk to, I'll also do that as well. So the hypermania makes you unstoppable. Where it goes wrong is you are then too unstoppable and the wheels fall off. So the idea here is sustainability and balance is understanding the lows, understanding the highs, making hay while the sun shines, building systems. Someone like Devang as well. Devang's in my corner. Devang's helping me build systems, processes. I'm a bloody good salesman. Not a fantastic operations and delivery guy, right? But you know what's good in business is sales and bringing in the money is often people's hard point. Delivery process and systems, that's a commodity. It's bloody important, and I'm thankful for Devang's help, who's a genius at it. And he's helping me. So Devang from 24/7 Direct, if you want to look him up. He along with Paul Dubois and Prashant Nand and Bruce and Johan and Fabian and Kyoko and Rory, right? And many other people that deserve mentions. You realize through depression that time doesn't stop. The sun does not set and rise for anybody. The sun's going to come up the next day. You can't procrastinate your way out of depression. And you can't falsify your way through mania. But you can have stability. You can do something you love. You can build a system around what you got. What's your level of genius, and figure that out. Because I'm telling you right now, everyone's a genius. Apart from a small select few who are fuckwits. But everyone's a genius.
Yeah.
What's your level of genius? You just got to find that.
You do have to find those people to actually get to know the environment you want to be in, the one you can thrive in. And I think it's what you're kind of attesting to is that environment, and creating an intentional environment that helps you thrive, not only as a business operator, but as a human being. Because those states of deep depression, those highs of mania, right? Epic highs of mania. It doesn't come at no cost. Like you have to have balance between the two. And that's the thing. What goes up must come down. So I'd love to know, so that people really understand where you're at now, as well as like what you're doing to future-proof yourself. What's the balanced part of lifestyle, and what are the interventions you're using now to make sure that this system keeps you head above water?
Well, it starts where all great stories start, at rock bottom.
Yeah.
Right. So Paul Dubois, it was May, we were doing work together. It was May. I was filming for him, and we'd agreed that I'd post on social media for him. Right. So I was doing the filming, we got the editing done, but I wasn't posting. So the end of May comes around, and Paul calls me up and he says, "Tim, I need you to send me the invoice. You've done some work, send me an invoice." Nah, Paul, I can't, in all moral equity, send you an invoice. Why? I haven't done the work. All right, Tim, well, you've done some work, so figure it out. Call me back, and I'll pay your invoice. Okay. June comes around. "Tim, end of financial year. Come on, I need a tax write-off. Where's your invoice?" Same excuse. "Nah, Paul, can't do it." "Why? I haven't done the work. I haven't been posting for you." "Tim, I know you haven't been posting for me. It's my account. But you've done something. All right. How about this? I'm going to cook you a steak. I've got a friend coming over. I want to do a podcast with him. We're going to have a good steak. We're going to have some good wine. Paul loves his wine. We've recently launched a podcast called Food, Wine, and Finance, which is coming out next RBA cycle. So Food, Wine, and Finance, Uncalled Capital. But this was episode 2. So he comes over. He makes a beautiful steak. He pours some beautiful wine. We do the filming. Filming goes really well. Cameras get shut off. He pours some more beautiful wine. More beautiful wine. I'm not a drinker. I'm not a heavy drinker. But this wine was good. It's good stuff. It eventually poured wings out a 2006 Durif, which, if you don't know what a 2006 Durif is, it's a strong wine. So I start drinking. About 50 glasses later, he asks me, he says, Tim, you've done some more work here tonight. You need to send an invoice. Nah, Paul. Okay, Tim, you've said this a few times. Why are you not doing the work? Well, I'm still in bed till 1 p.m. I'm depressed. My brain is not working. And I don't feel like I've given you value because you haven't even posted this stuff. So I'm not comfortable giving you money. He goes, right. Why are you not doing that? I'm depressed, Paul. I'm depressed. That's why. All right. Well, I'm going to give you the weekend to recover because you've had 50 wines. But then I'm going to call you at 8 a.m. Now, I'm used to getting up at 1 p.m. So I'm going to call you at 8 a.m. If you don't pick up, I'll call you again. If you don't pick up, I'll call you a third time. If you don't pick up a fourth time, I will send someone to your house and I will pull you out of bed. Now, I wake up on the Saturday with a cut on my head, a bruise here, a bruised foot. I'm limping. And I left all my camera equipment at Paul's house. Paul's son had to drop me home. All right? So when Monday comes around, I'm embarrassed. I'm like, did I break something at Paul's house? Did I do this? Monday comes around and we have our coffee. And instead of Paul calling me at 8, I call him at 7:57 a.m. and I say, Paul, I'm up, I'm awake. He says, good, do it again tomorrow. I'll talk to you tomorrow. We've been doing that for a month and a half. 2 months now. In 2 months, I've gone from being depressed, broke, sad loser to business thriving again, 5 kilograms lost, all thanks to a friend who cared enough to ask the question and cared enough to push me when I needed to be pushed. None of this dancing around soft, cuddly stuff. Doesn't work. I'm sorry. It doesn't work. For me, at least, it does not work. What worked was Paul Dubois, 6'4", big guy. I'm big, but he's bigger, right? Who was saying, I will come over to your house and I'll pull you out of bed. So
Yeah, what was the
months.
thing that got you out of bed? Was it the fear of this man's gonna come and pull me out of my bed, or was it something? Because you said something which I want to really pay attention to. That was, you've got the weekend to get over this. You
Yeah, I'm not.
said just before.
I'll give you
That's
the
insane.
weekend. I'll give you the weekend, but I won't give you 2 weeks. I won't give you a month.
That's right. So you've
Have
got
the weekend.
basically 2 days.
Have the weekend. Have a cry. Have a boo. Have a sick. Have a whatever. Right, because you need that. But after that, it's game time. Show up. Show up, and not even for yourself. If you can't show up for yourself, show up for your family, show up for your friends, show up for them. Even if you can't show up for yourself, because guess what? Then you will show up for yourself. And I've got an amazing wife who's been incredibly supportive. And without her, where the hell would I be? I don't know. I don't want to even voice that, because she's been incredible. And then so it was with Paul Dubois' help, with Johan's help, with your help, with Lisa's help, with Peter Vox's help, with Prashant's help, with Bruce's help. Oh, there's too many names, and I'm fortunate to have these names. There's too many names. I've missed someone. Someone's watching this going, come on, Tim, I had a phone call with you, right?
Yeah.
So
I was the one that tapped you on the shoulder. You didn't even mention me. Nah, I'm only
yeah,
kidding.
yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
And you know the sad truth is some people don't have that.
Yeah.
So when I'm in a state, friends of mine will message Lisa that Lisa doesn't even know who they are. And my wife's introverted, and she goes, Tim, why is this person, come on, I thought you were doing better, but now this person's messaging me. And she goes, if this happened to me, no one would message me. That breaks my heart. I'd message her. I mean, that breaks my heart.
Yeah. And I think something that I really respect about you, Tim, in those sales conversations to kind of put everything together and what Paul Dubois mentioned, you've got your weekend to sort your shit out because you're right now, you're saying, I am depressed. When someone says, I am this, that is their reality, right? That's where their mentality's at. That's just how they define and create their reality.
Who was this psychologist that said, I think, therefore I am?
Whoa.
I think, therefore I am.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not a woo-woo dude, but whatever you put into your mind and whatever you're feeding it, people go, oh, the algorithm shows me all this crappy stuff. Well, guess what? It's you liking it and you watching it and you commenting it.
It
You
feeds
know,
off you. 100%.
the
100%.
algorithm doesn't exist. You think it exists? No, the algorithm is you. You built it. Whatever you're watching right now, and hopefully it's this video, but whatever you're watching right now, you fed that. That is your fault. It's not the algorithm.
Yeah.
And if you think it's the
You're
algorithm and you go,
responsible.
oh, I'm this, I'm that, maybe you should fuck off. This is an explicit episode, but
Yes, I will mark it as explicit. Don't worry. But
you know,
the thing I love about it, and I think it does come back to the student, the teacher will show when the student is ready, right? And Paul did not care about, he did care. That's the very fact that he showed he cared by being willing to put the relationship on the line enough to actually help you in the way that was meaningful to you, right? He was committed to you just like you committed to him. There was something in your mind that said, it's not right. But then as soon as that came, like, I don't know, did the message just like feel received? Is that
well,
why?
I had to be in the right position, right? You got to be
Yeah, that's
receptive.
right.
You got to be receptive to the message. It's like if I'm selling to someone who wants to change but is unwilling to take the action in order to do that, I'm going to identify that really quickly and find a way to ask questions about it. And go, hey, why haven't you solved this problem before? What's really happened? Right. So if you're not talking to someone who's receptive to listening to you, you're already on the back foot. Right.
Yeah.
So any question that you're going to ask, any consideration, any of that, well, maybe that's your fault for taking the call.
There is a beautiful quote. It's not my quote. It's not even a famous quote, but questions are free. You have the right to ask the question because they don't cost you.
But the thing is, right, is the more questions you ask, the better responses that you'll get. The thing is, we don't ask the questions that we need to ask because we think we'll offend someone. The easiest way to not offend someone is framing the question. Hey, can I just ask you a really maybe personal question that might be a little bit embarrassing? I've just now got permission to then ask whatever the heck I want. And even if they respond in a negative way, well, how dare you ask me that? Whoa. I wanted to ask you that so I could actually help you. Right?
Yeah.
And there's a big difference between helping and selling. If we're selling and we got commission breath and money in our eyes and we're desperate for it, you'll ask questions that you think you need to ask so that they'll say the thing that you want them to say, and then you go, ha, got you. Ha, now you can buy my thing. And it's not like that. It's helping, asking, and then opening. And it's frustratingly simple and not enough people do it.
Yeah. So the last 13 months have been basically hell for you. The last 2 months have been really quite good.
Shaun, it's not hell. Don't get that. It's on the surface, it's an easy life.
Yeah. But I know.
Comfort is where dreams go to die. Your comfort zone is where your dreams go to die. And if you're sitting there in your pajamas every day, eating Cheetos and having a wonderful time, well, it is a wonderful time. But don't come crying to me when you're not achieving the things you want to achieve because you're sitting there in your underwear eating Cheetos because you're comfortable. And comfortable is where your dreams go to die. The worst thing in the world that can happen to someone is they win the lottery. The worst thing in the world that can happen to someone is they win the lottery, because they then become comfortable. And how many people who win the lottery then just blow it all and then they become broke or homeless? All of them.
I don't know what the stats are, but I imagine it's
Like
quite ridiculous.
90%. You hear it all the time. And that's because comfort is where your dreams go to die.
Yeah. I would love to segue a tiny little bit, because in the last 2.5 years, in the 4 years that we've known each other, in the last 2.5 years, you've seen me become a dad, right? That's been my own personal transformation. And I think it's really woke me up into certain different levels of being able to take ownership of myself, my business, and where I'm headed. That aside, so that's the framing. What I would love to ask, because this is something that I struggle on. What you're saying, chocolate is my massive comfort food. And this is me opening up to my audience too. Like, I really struggle. I cope with massive amounts of chocolate eating. And it is such a habit that is not physically, for the moment, it's not physically costing me a lot. Like, I don't gain weight from it really, but what it does to me mentally and from a comfort level is detrimental, right? Because it is killing my dreams. What have you learned in the last number of years since you've been diagnosed in 2016 with bipolar 2? What have you learned and taken away from the experiences of going really low to really high that can help someone end the copium and really just take the bull by its horns and just freaking live their dreams, man? It's a selfish question.
Appreciation.
What do you mean?
If you were to develop an amazing human, and you're trying to give them personality traits, and this person needs to be unstoppable and strong and all of that. This is a amazing thing. What would you do to that person? You wouldn't give them an easy life, surely. You'd give them trials and tribulations and ups and downs and knock them around a bit to get resilience and find out what the world's actually like. So appreciation means appreciate everything, because everything that happened to you is your fault. I don't care if you think it's someone else's fault. You were there. You made a decision. It was your fault. All right. But appreciate where you are. So if I'm depressed, appreciate. You know, the Western civilization are the only sort of countries that can feel depression, because the other ones are working too hard for it to actually be a thing. Right?
Doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, appreciate your depression. Appreciate the lessons that it's teaching you. Appreciate the resilience that it's teaching you over and over again. So when you finally do get out of it, and I promise you, you will get out of it. You will get out of it unless you don't. You know, this shoot too shall pass. Same with being happy. Appreciate it. Same with living in Australia. Sitting in a boardroom talking to my friend at 2:43 p.m. on a Friday. Appreciate it. Appreciate your friends. Appreciate you. Appreciate the traits. Appreciate what you have. Appreciation. It could also be called perspective.
Yeah.
Right? So 13-month depression. Okay, is it better to have 13 months of depression in Melbourne, Australia, or 13 months depression in Iran or Iraq or Yemen? Where would you prefer to have depression? Are you allowed to have depression in those other countries?
Probably where you're supported, eh?
Yeah. Australia is paradise, man.
Yeah.
We live in paradise here. I don't think people understand. there's countries where people are dying, where people are starving, where people are, they have really massive legitimate problems. And this isn't to say your problems aren't legitimate, because they are. But if you're in Australia, appreciate it. For now, we live in a great country. It's not going great from a government perspective. We're not going to go there, but Australia has the potential to be pretty stuffed, but it also has the potential to be amazing. So appreciate that you're living in Australia, because you could be somewhere else. You could be born right in the middle of a war zone. So where would you like to be? I think I'd like to be in Melbourne, Australia, with my friends and my family and my wife and my cat and my dog and the sun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think how people could interpret that is, appreciation is it's the same frequency or vibration as gratitude. I mean, you know how gratitude works. It opens doors for you. Gratitude opens the world of abundance, the abundance of not happiness. Happiness is just a word for a feeling, but true joy. And true joy comes from understanding that suffering was there for you to learn and take
Which is really bloody hard when you're in the suffering, Shaun.
It is,
okay?
man.
So you can't just honestly, you can't just say, oh,
just be grateful.
Oh, just be grateful because you had a crap life. No, it's hard when you're in it. It's impossible when you're in it. Okay?
It is impossible.
But when you get out of it, the perspective you gain, the knowledge, the passion, the drive, the oh my God, I'm never going to get back there again because that was bad. So I can't belittle the experience.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, you'll appreciate it in 5, 10, 20, 50, 60 years. I'm glad I went through that thing because that taught me this thing. But don't tell me the pain isn't painful when it's painful. Don't tell me my cut that I cut my arm isn't painful. But you know what? You have a big cut, you get a big scar, and you get a big story.
Mate, I really appreciate you sharing so openly to the audience and to me, because we are good friends. We've been good friends for the last 4 years. But there's parts of this that are inspiring for me. So I know that whoever's listening or watching right now, do the hard thing and know that it's going to be hard, right? There are ways you can cope with it. I think that's messaging.
Yeah, look, Shaun, those are nice words, okay? Do the hard thing. Do the hard thing. But what is the hard thing? Because sometimes the hard thing is because Shaun, sometimes the hard thing is getting out of bed. So what's the hard thing? All right. Your motivational people will be like, get up at 5 a.m., do the hard thing. But maybe the hard thing for me is to get up at 8 a.m.
Exactly. I appreciate you for framing it that way, because the hard thing is the thing that you're avoiding. That's all it is. So if you are struggling to wake up 1 minute before the time that you've set yourself, or you don't want to hit snooze, and you said, I'm going to do it at this time. The hard thing is actually getting up when the alarm goes off, right? And yeah, you'll quickly slip into that sleep state again when that alarm goes off. If the habit is to hit snooze, I know that because I do it, right? So the hard thing is actually just showing up at the thing that you're avoiding, because you've set the intention to do it and something has stopped you from doing it.
Yeah.
So it's completely subjective to whatever you're trying to do, right? It's that next action step. What do you know you need to do that you're not doing? That's as simple as it is. But
the best way I've heard it is if your life was a movie and people were watching it. I think McConaughey said this. If your life was a movie and you're watching it, what would the audience be screaming at you to be doing? Because you know what it is. What's the audience screaming at you to go, just do this? You can go do that. And if that's go for a walk, good. If that's something a little bit harder, good. If that's something impossible, good. You've got that opportunity to go do it.
Yeah. if that's opening your eyes.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
that's a little bit easy, but anyway.
Could be someone's hard, man. That's the point. Is
Um,
it's different inflection points. But
yeah.
I'm really loving today's conversation, and sadly we do have to bring the show to an end. So I'd really love to ask one more question before we finish up, and that is, Tim, go back to that moment where you were diagnosed. 2016, you knew something was wrong. You just couldn't quite understand what was really going on. So you knew something was wrong. And I guess what I'm trying to ask here is, what is the advice you would give yourself? It's been 10 years. You have 10 years of experience of going on really deep lows to really high highs. All that lived experience has taught you something. There's wisdom. What message would you pass on to that 2016 version of Tim right now?
Well, look, you're after a golden thing where it's like, what is this? But it's not. It's many things and multiple things. But the thing is this too shall pass. This bad feeling, this too shall pass. This good feeling, this too shall pass. Okay, might take a long time, but it will. But I think it just goes back to my first reaction when I was told. It was, okay, now what? This has happened. Okay, now what?
There you go.
What are you doing
Okay,
about it?
now what?
You've got
Okay,
this
now
label, you've got this thing, you've got this illness. Okay, now what? What's your responsibility that you have to manage the illness? If I have a broken arm, I'm not going to try and throw balls with my broken arm. I'm going to heal it. And then it's going to get better and it's going to get stronger and I'll come back better than I was when I was down. And it's the same thing with the depression. I'll come back better than I was when I was down. So, okay, now what?
Mate, you said that there was many things, but you've freaking summarized it perfectly. I appreciate you for sharing that, because it's so applicable to any moment in which people are facing something hard. So thank you for that. Lastly, I would love for everyone to know how they can, one, connect with you, and two, what is the thing that you are launching that you're excited about bringing to life? I know you've got a workshop that's sold out. The next one is sold out. It's happening in August. I believe you have another one running after that, but please give us insight in how people can connect with you, number one. And number two, what is the next offer you can invite them to?
Yeah. So LinkedIn is good for me if you're a business person. LinkedIn, Tim Beanland. You'll see my bald smiling face on there, and that'll be me. If you're not a business owner, Instagram is probably best. So Tim Beanland there again. You'll see my bald face, and then the TikToks. TikTok as well. So if you're a business, LinkedIn. If you're awesome, curious person, it's Instagram. If you love scrolling and doom scrolling, it's TikTok. Yeah. What was the what am I launching?
Yeah, what's the offer? What's on offer for you? What can people come and actually receive your knowledge, your wisdom?
All right. Well, Shaun,
sales?
can I share my screen and
You can, yeah.
show you what I built? So Bruce, my mentor, who grew one of the largest timeshare businesses in South Africa, over 40 years has developed a sales system that gets people from being really bad at sales and nervous and not liking it to being amazing at sales and loving the sales calls and the processes. If you put Bruce in front of a qualified buyer, he has a 100, well, it's hyperbolic, 90% close rate to a qualified buyer. He'll get in and he'll sell. Right? I learnt off Bruce. I came in and I modernized Bruce's system. Right? So Bruce and I have written a book. It's launching it'll be on sale by the 14th of August. And I'm going to share my screen with you all to show you the website that I made for the call. So this is what we're doing. I'll go through this really quickly. So the title of the book is called Salespeople Suck, but if nobody's buying your shit, you are screwed. 7-step system to becoming a secret salesman. Right? If you read this book, you'll have effortless sales calls. You'll have clients that thank you, and you'll get the money that you deserve. So for a pre-sale price of $19.94 Australian dollars, so usually $30 on Amazon, but pre-launch, for just under $20, you will learn a system that a business owner spent 40 years on developing how to sell. And as you said, Shaun, when we trained you in this, you did 6 hours in a week. So imagine what other people could do. So here, Bruce Manson, Tim Beanland, salespeople suck. But if nobody's buying your shit, you are screwed. So how do you have conversations? Because I'll leave you with this. Getting told no, or I need to think about it, sucks. Your next sales conversation doesn't have to feel like that. Just doesn't. There's nothing between yes or no. Anything in between yes or no sucks. So your next sales conversations should be better. And if you buy this book before the 14th of August, $19.94, get on the wait list and you'll see it around soon. That's the thing that I'd like to leave your audience with.
Awesome, mate. Well, thank you so much for being here, Tim. It's been an awesome conversation with great depth and also great highs and lows. I really have enjoyed it. So thank you once again.
Me too.
And look, if you want to stop being a passenger in your own life and start being the architect of your legacy, make sure you come into the show notes because you'll find all Tim's links and the link to his book. Plus, you'll also see the 7-day nervous system reset. That is there to rebuild the man from within and essentially help you really take ownership of your life again. Remember that most people wait for their life to change. We are the ones who architect our choices. Change your state. Choose how you show up. I am Shaun Tucker. I will see you in the next one.